People keep telling me they don't have any ideas to get started on a new business. The problem is you don't have new ideas. The problem is that the ideas are right in front of you and that you don't even see them. This comes up almost every conversation I have with people. People want something more. They're looking for some option out of their corporate job. Not necessarily a new job, but something that brings income and excitement. In almost every conversation I have, people are telling me they want something more. Corporate people, technical people with high salaries, they want something more. The day job is great because it has benefits, it has lots of great things, but they want something that excites them. They want something that they can own. They don't want to blow up their job or start over or get rid of all the benefits, but something I own. And they get stuck on the question, what should I do? What idea should I pick? So let's go over a couple of ways to look at this as I've been helping people for many years get through this question. The first thing is you are looking in the wrong place. The first reason you don't have a business idea is because we're looking inside of our head. People sit with inspiration. They're waiting to be inspired by something. They think if they think about things harder, they will see ideas. No, ideas by paying attention. What's broke? What's too slow? What is not working? What do people complain about? Not only in your business, but in all the businesses out there and in just general society. People, we love to complain. We do social media posts about it. What's broke? There's all kinds of ideas, especially when what is broke fits inside the domain of the kind of problems you like to fix anyway. Number two, what have you been trained to ignore? And let's face it, we are taught to ignore things that you ever heard of. That's not our job. That's another department. Or, hey, that's just part of the way things work around here. Or that's a vendor responsibility. All these kinds of different things. No, we just solve it. If you see a problem inside your organization, inside your industry, solve it. Instead of asking, hey, can I get somebody else to solve this? Fix it. You can be the one to fix it. And there is an opportunity. So many businesses that I have seen started just that, fixing a problem inside their industry that irritated everybody that people talked about. And somebody said, I'm just going to do that. And they found a solution to the problem. The third way to get yourself to start a new opportunity or to find an opportunity is, or the reason that you're not, the third reason you're not finding a new opportunity is you're jumping too far ahead. And this one is so common. Most people go straight to businesses and brands and products. And when I talk to them, they've thought through everything from, hey, from the point of starting to what kind of Super Bowl ads I'm going to run. They're way ahead of where they should be. They need to be thinking about the problem. They just are way too far out. And when you get that far out and thinking about the problem, it's overwhelming. You've got too much to do. Your brain can't get around it. And you feel like this is impossible. It's a giant hill to climb because the companies you're mimicking or you're trying to mimic, they've got massive budget and massive teams to do this. You don't need that. Don't worry about the business. You need one situation, one problem. The fourth reason that we don't get started or can't find a business to start is the only start that works. One person, one problem, one conversation. We won't do this. We won't take the action that actually works. It's one person, right? Focus on an individual, focus on a problem, focus on a conversation. I say this a lot of times people will have a problem. I've seen lawyers, for instance, we were working with a product one time and lawyers had a particular problem and the company was solving the problem, or this individual was solving this problem for this lawyer. But instead of solving the problem for the lawyer, they tried to solve it. What do other lawyers have? That's a good question to ask, except there's a difference between a real estate attorney and a trial attorney and people who do all kinds of different law. And he was trying to expand his software to solve all of their problems, and he never finished it, never had any profit. but he could have solved that one person's problem. That's it. You should be thinking, I've seen this before. I can help. That's how things actually get started. Don't overthink it. Let's think about the fifth thing here is think about where does consulting fit? I've been talking about consulting in the last couple of podcasts. Because I work with a lot of technical people, consulting shows up a lot. That's one thing they do. But this is why consulting works. It's not as an end goal, but it's a great way to test out a market. For instance, you find a problem, you find an opportunity, you think you can solve a problem for maybe a company over here or an individual, and you, instead of inventing an entire product, solve their problem. That might mean you doing the work, you being the grunt, you figuring things out. Just bill for the solution. Now you're billing for your time and your abilities and all those kind of things. And it's a consulting play, but that's how we get started. To me, one thing I've noticed over the years is a lot of consultants get stuck because they stay in the consulting mode of trading time for money. It's like the business quadrant. It's the second quadrant right here where you're moved from employee to self-employed. You're still trading time for money. And a lot of consultants stay there. And what you need to do is think about productizing things. But as a consultant, it's a great way to try things and just get started and get moving. Number 6, what you are missing. Listen for these things. I'm learning and I'm coming up with a list of trigger words that people say that help identify, hey, there's a problem there. And I've started to realize that when people say certain words, there's more to it. There's opportunity underneath it. When you hear things like, we've been trying to, right, whatever the rest of that is, there's opportunity. Or this is taking forever. This is so frustrating. This process is so frustrating. I wish someone could. So those are a couple of the different trigger words that I've seen. And what you're thinking, what you're listening to people. And look, this is where all ideas come from. And this is where some of us that are technical background people, we don't like to listen to people because maybe we're introverted or we just don't like listening to the noise. But what I'm asking you to do is listen to signals, because people will signal what their problems are. And where there's a problem, money can flow, right? Most people hear these signals and they move on, they ignore them, or they join in with complaining. Look for your signals. Number 7, the 7th thing to get you started in a business is take a simple action for the next couple of days. Let's call it 7 days. Don't look for ideas. Track problems. And this is what we're always get caught up in. And I'm watching people, everybody in the AI space. Hey, I'm going to be an AI consultant. What does that mean? But instead, look for the problems. Because you know what? I don't care if you solve my problems with AI, with code, or if you get 100 workers at a cheap price to do the work for me. It doesn't matter. I need the work done. The same thing is true of your customers inside your company, inside everywhere else. Don't look at the ideas as much as you focus on the problems themselves. And we do get caught up on seeing a problem and we move it to idea very quickly. Instead, write down. Just start writing down and think of, what do people complain about? Remember those trigger words I just talked about? What slows things down? What do you naturally help with? And oftentimes you and I are called to help solve a problem. I'm just out there today helping my neighbors solve a problem with a gate that we have. That's a common thing. And they always call me. Am I going to bill them for that? I don't know. But is there an opportunity in that? Yes. Because guess what? We're not the only ones that have the problem. But look for these things for over the next 7 days. Let's call it 7 days. Just start writing down things that you observe. There's opportunities every few minutes that are out there. And if you can move from the problem of, I can't find an idea, to, wow, I've got so many ideas in front of me, that's another problem. We can talk about that, but that's a good problem to have. So here, just let me close this out. You don't need more creativity. We don't need to get in our creative mind and sit on our little beanbag chair with our right coffee or tea and think harder. What we do need is more awareness to the people around us, more awareness to the kind of problems that people are having. Everything I have just told you here is about paying attention to the problem, because the idea you are looking for, you have most likely already seen it and blown it off multiple times. These things will get you to ideas to start businesses to make profit.